What is up, guys? Happy Friday. Today we're going to go ahead and continue with the backtesting sessions. Um, we're going to go ahead and go over the indices. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Last week we were talking about, let's go ahead and just clear some things up just for the visual purposes. All right, last week the market was here. So if this is Friday, where's last Friday? Right, yeah. So the market was here last week. Right. And we already talked about the market making its way up to this possible sell zone. Now the market barely tapped that if it did, like barely tapped, and that's like on the wick. I'm like not even trying to like stretch it out. That's like on that wick right there. You know what I'm saying? So it already tapped into that starting point and gave some type of rejection, which is pretty good. If you ended up taking this first touch, you know, you're already up 640 pips, you know, so that's super solid. But I mean, to get some more confirmation, we would really want the market to change direction below here. I just really don't like the way the market was building up liquidity here. So I wouldn't mind the market coming down, even down to here. I mean, there's a lot of trendline liquidity in this area. And you know, there's a couple of imbalances here down here. I would not mind to see if the market gives a nice rejection and then a continuation up. But you know, we just have to go and see. Now, if we go to higher time frame, the only thing is the higher time frame. I'm gonna delete some of this stuff for the visual real quick. The higher time frame looks very bullish still. Very bullish. Like that's a nasty wick. Like that, it doesn't get any better than that on the monthly time frame. So this candle right here is 1 month, right? So market dropped and came back up and closed right here, right? But underneath that candle, what does that look like? Market dropped and it made its way all the way back and closed around this area, right? So long term, like it definitely looks bullish still. But I mean, I can still see some type of rejection. Let's go for a pullback. Can I get these back? Yeah, okay. For a pullback, right? Some type of pullback, even if it's inside of here, right? I already have my possible buy zones. I have one right here, and one right here as well. So I'm really just waiting, for these things to happen. But for the week, right? For this week, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's drop down to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see. I think it was this one. This was FOMC, right? This was Wednesday. Yes. Okay. So this is what I was looking at, right? I had sent in buys in this area. I'm just going to delete this stuff for the visual. When the market was here, I think even like around here, right? I had already sent in possible buys in this area, just strictly based off of this, what had happened, right? Notice how we were just building liquidity on the way up, trend line trading, right? And then the market drops massively, drops massively, and then right away, just with the snap of a finger, just reverses right away and continues going higher. So anytime you see that type of movement, guys, you want to pay attention to that movement. When you can understand whether you're identifying the trend line trading, right, trend line liquidity, or you can identify consolidation, right? Both are important to understand. But when you see this right here, the massive drop, and then right away we change direction and go higher, that's something to, you know, keep your eyes on. You know, so when we're looking for buys around here, I was just waiting. I either wait right here or I wait for the market to give me the extra confirmation I need to see in order to start buying. So I want to see this. I want to see a whole new setup, or I'm waiting right here. So once I see this, I don't mind participating in this move here. Why? Because I may have missed I may have missed the buy here. Just because I want it to come into this zone does not mean that it has to. So as soon as I see a nice drop and then right away the market reverses, that's my like clue to like, you know what, we should start looking to participate in buys now. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense. If you were to take a sweep, how would you go about that hypothetically? So I saw on um Miguel's call, and I'm not saying he's wrong, right? But I saw on Miguel's call the other day, that he said that he saw liquidity that was, and this was like on higher time frame. He saw liquidity, and as soon as the market swept it, he ended up getting in here to catch the reversal. Does that make sense? So he was being very, very aggressive with that. But the thing is, if you want extra confirmation, this is what I want to see, right? One, I want to see the liquidity sweep. I want to see a liquidity sweep, right? If I can identify my liquidity, we know, well, we want that to be swept, right? So if we can get a liquidity sweep right here, what I want to see in this area specifically, Anthony, is a head and shoulder setup. This is what I want to see, right? As the market is dropping down, where is my closest pullback? It's right here. So if we can get the change of direction, this is what the move that I want to participate in to play it safer. Does that make sense, bro? This can possibly be down on the 1 minute time frame, especially if you're catching liquidity sweeps, like things that happen quick. You want to see this whole setup happen right here. So as soon as you see that liquidity sweep, whether it's the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 1 hour, drop down, find your closest pullback to that sweep of liquidity, which is this right here we just identified, and we can participate in this area. You're saying, what if you're saying you're trying to catch this sweep down? You're trying to catch this movement down? Can you unmute for me? Because I'm getting confused on what about the sweep down?
Yeah, so like let's say hypothetically, someone were to take that sweep, would you go further back to see if there's like a track handle or a
Yes,
supply zone?
I was just about to say that as well, right? So let's just say we're in an uptrend, right? Market's
Yeah,
in an uptrend. Boom. Can you see that the market is in an uptrend right here? Do you
yeah.
think you can actually see that, right? I know you can see that. You're someone who can identify starting points in supply and demand easy. Now let's just say there's a demand right here that's fresh, right? This one's already taken. We can delete this. There's a fresh supply here, right? So instead of just playing aggressive and getting in as soon as it sweeps, look for something a bit lower. Look for a starting point or a trap candle a bit lower. That way we can use that as an entry rather than just playing aggressively, right? So if we can get the same thing, if we can have a starting point here, and then we can get this same exact setup, if we can get this inverted setup on that lower time frame that I was talking about off of this zone, boom, you're solid.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Does that make sense? So let me go ahead and delete that. Delete this, delete this, delete this, and delete this for the visual. So as the market's dropping down, right? Dropping down, dropping down. I want to find my closest pullback before my entry. Let's say it's this one right here. Boom, I now enter. My closest pullback is right here. BOS, change of direction. So as soon as the market changes direction, we can now participate and enter a little heavier lot. Because my first touches are always test trades, even on indices, especially on news days. I'm always test trading because I would rather lose, like $6 fast rather than like 60 or 600. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always test trading, especially with indices. Guys, test trading is such a code. Like if you find yourself like taking, because I mean you're trading indices, like you're trading with the big dogs, right? So um if you take a couple losses, maybe it's like $60 loss, $80 loss here and there, those things add up, right? But I guarantee you, if you can preserve some more capital test trading with the minis, like you're gonna see it a whole lot different because guys, you guys gotta remember, like trading isn't about making money. It's about preserving the capital you already have for the next trade. The more capital, how do I say capital? The more capital you have, the more money you could potentially make. So it's not about always just making money. That's why risk management, we put that into place. That way you can, you know, hold on and protect as much capital as possible. Oh my God, I can't speak today. Does that make sense, guys? So like test trading is huge. So like let's just say I want to take buys here, but I'm gonna test trade it with US30 mini. So instead of losing $272, I'm losing $27, or I'm losing $2.72, right? But as soon as we get an opportunity here, then I can go ahead and actually throw down my 1%, where now this is a $236 loss for a $800 gain. Does that make sense? Like that if your broker allows you to trade minis, guys, I highly encourage test trading with the minis. I promise you, like preserving capital, guys, is just as important as making more capital. Promise you. So as we come back this way, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the market to come down, or I'm waiting for that inverter to happen. So let's just go ahead and we'll wait. Let's take a look at NAS. So NAS and SPX are all doing the same thing, right? And I can see right here that there's liquidity. There's liquidity right here in this area. So look, I already know I'm either waiting for the market to drop down and give me a possible entry, or I know there's liquidity here. Market can just dip right under and then give me my change of character, so I can now start looking for buys. Does that make sense? I'm waiting here, or I'm waiting for the sweep, and I'm waiting for that change of character right after the sweep. That's important, guys. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at SPX as well. And this is the one that gets me, because look how far SPX is, right? Look how far SPX is. Look how far NAS is. And then look how far US30. US30 is still the one that's the furthest. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna take the lagging pair. Remember when I said last week, guys, that we want to take the lagging pair? But then I think JV asked, well, what if sometimes the lagging pair doesn't get there and the first pair that touches it is the real move? Sometimes that happens, and that ended up happening in this scenario. So I'm kind of glad JV asked that question. And then later on that week, the same scenario happened. So sometimes that happens, guys. But let's take a look. So we can see that SPX is, in this area still has space to drop. In this area still has space to drop. And in this area still has space to drop. So let's go ahead and take a look. So as market's creating structure, I know that this is my low that was swept, right? That's my BOS, and my change of character line is right here. So I'm not making any moves until the market actually changes direction to the upside. And then we can take something. Let's take a look at. Yep, they're pretty much similar. It looks like NAS looks like it actually gave something different. We get movement there. The heck? Where's my button at? Cannot see. Right? It looks like we do get movement, and it gives it to you. Right? We do get the change of character. And if you were trading off NAS right here, it does give you that buy opportunity. And then if we go to SPX, it made more liquidity. So we have to take a look at this. Watch. Let's go to US30. Now let's continue playing it. Look at this, guys. As soon as we get this change of direction, it came right back to where we wanted it to. The only thing is, it misses the entry literally by like a hair. So with indices, like with it being that tight, sometimes you don't get in. But look at the structure though. Yeah, you can send me some markups, bro. We can take a look at that. But look at the structure though. Notice how people are gonna get stuck with this, right? They see this pullback, market drops low. Now look, market gives me a lower low, and then a wick pushes this high, pushes high. But even though the wick pushes and closes down here, we have to focus on that wick. And then this high pushed down and made this low, right? So we have to focus on the external structure. Market gave us the BOS/liquidity sweep. Market gave us my change of character. It took some time, definitely took some time, and then came back with that. It missed us by a hair. Now, if we were going based off of the shoulder, it'd be the lowest wick down to my closest body, which would be right here. And this is on the 1 hour. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, there's like no structure to go based off of. If you go on the 2 hour time frame, it's the same. So if we were looking at it with like an inverted in this specific area, you were definitely missed. And if you look at it like a starting point, you were missed.
You pick up your loss level. So you nah, bro. Smart money is just a certain pattern you have to look for in the market.
So yeah, we were missed by a hair, guys. But let me tell you something. Like, this gives me massive confidence still. This gives me massive confidence still. Why? Because everything that I'm teaching you guys is actually working. Like, I've said this multiple times. We either wait in the area that we want the market to come down to, or we wait for the setup to reappear. And even though it's not pretty, but if you focus on the structure that was given, it gives you the whole play. Gives you the whole play. Guys, sometimes they're not going to be pretty. And that's why, like, indices, they're not for the beginners. I'm not going to lie to you. They're not for beginners. You know, if you want some pretty setups, you have to go to some Forex pairs. And that's okay. Like, you don't want to sprint before you can crawl, right? Like, you don't want to try to like write a book before you can write your name. You know what I'm saying? No, you're good, JV. You're good, bro. But when you can understand the structure that was given and understand it in depth, it helps a lot. So if you're struggling with structure and you know it, guys, like, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to focus on that for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But this right here was the trade of the week, because after that, I mean, market kind of just took off from there. And I mean, it already gave, if you somehow got in here, which I hope somebody did, right? You were risking 164 pips, which is $164, but you end up gaining $500 pretty much, 498, which is a good opportunity. And it took the highs. If you were looking about taking highs, that took highs, which is a 1 to 3.7 and 620 pips. So this actually gave us everything we needed to see, which is good. It just, if depending on what your broker is, and I should say that too, guys. Like, this was the setup, but on my broker, it missed me by literally by a hair, bro. And on your broker, it might have put you in. So it also goes based off of the broker. But yeah, that was a nice play. Now, if we go to NAS, look at what happened. Let's play it back. What the heck is going on here? Let's play it back, right? Because in this area, as soon as we get this, right, the market gave it to us early. We have change of character, a liquidity sweep, and then change of character. But look at this, guys. If we go back up, By this time, it looks like NAS was the leader, right? NAS broke through first. SPX, I guess SPX was also on the same thing, the same energy with, NAS at the time. But, what really gave it to it, what really handed the energy to the indices was once NAS gave us that change of character, came right back to that right shoulder and, gave us that move we're looking for. And that for sure, if anybody took that, depending on where you're at, it gave minimum 1 to 2, which is enough to partial out. That's already a 1 to 3. Let's see. Let's go a bit deeper in the zone. 1 to 3 if you enter at the 50%, and let's see if it gives you a 1 to 3 if you enter at the top. I'm not sure if it does or not. No. So at least it gave you enough to partial out depending on where you entered in that area. So if you're looking at this, you're already thinking, you're like, look, I know I still want to enter down here, right? These zones are really, really good. And the same thing happened with NAS, right? We build liquidity, that trend line liquidity. Market starts to consolidate sideways. Market drops massively and then redirects in the direction it was intended, right? So we have to keep an eye on that. That's exactly what we want to see. But now because we have structure on this lower time frame, we're thinking our next move is here because we have a starting point in that specific area, right? But I was hoping we can clap this and come lower. That was my thought process during FOMC. I'm like, bro, there's equal lows and we have a starting point down here. Let's see if we can go ahead, push below here, pick this up, and then continue higher, right? But let's see, let's take a look. Now, the thing is, if you were focused on this new buy, right? If you were focused on this new buy, knowing that we have possible buys down here, that's okay, right? But at the same time, you have to understand liquidity. And when there's liquidity in the market, guys, you always have to be cautious with buy zones right above liquidity, right? So for me, I'm never entering first. And if I do, I'm definitely entering a test trade on the mini. Like that's for sure. If you know you're taking opportunity, and maybe you don't know you're taking opportunities inside of liquidity, because if you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, oh, this is pretty nice structure. How is this liquidity? But we have equal lows here. So if you're participating in the next buy opportunity that it's showing you, right, you're participating inside of liquidity, which is usually something I don't really want to do. But if I do it, I'm waiting for my confirmation. I'm waiting for the change of character off of this zone. And I'm using the mini. I'm test trading. I'm not going to go in and lose $200 off the rip because I got it. Like that's kind of dumb, right? In my opinion, if we know that this is a high risk trade because it's inside of liquidity, I'm always going to under leverage and test it. Now, let's say you are somebody who wants to go ahead and take this opportunity inside the starting point. What should we be focused on as the market is dropping down, guys? Anybody know? What should we be focused on? The change of direction off of my zone, right? If I'm looking for buys, I need to look at the change of direction off of my zone so we can look for opportunities here. So let's take a look. As of right now, we are still waiting. Slight BOS, cool. Slight BOS, my change of direction line is right here. Let's take a look. Let's move my break of structure. Break a structure line, change a character line. Now, it looks like we have one more break of structure. Now, on the 1 minute or on the 1 hour time frame, this might not look like one, but on the 15 and on the 5, this is for sure structure. If we drop down to the 15, that's for sure structure. So I'm going to go ahead and this is my change of direction line. Now, let's take a look. It's already in that possible buy zone, guys. So I don't have to be the first one in, right? Now, if it respects this zone and changes direction, I will now participate in possible buys here. But if it doesn't, I'm not participating. Let's take a look. This is still FOMC day, guys. Remember this. This is still FOMC day. Boom, another drop. So let's just continue to adjust. Right? Now this is the thing. Let's go back up. I understand the zone was not the zone, so we delete it. But now the market just took liquidity. The market just took liquidity, and look at the wick that it left. At one point, guys, this gray candle or this blue candle was gray. So it looked like this. It looked like this. Gray, 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 gray. And then as soon as we took liquidity, this is what the market did. Left the wick, left the wick, left the wick, and then got bullish. So when you're seeing this, guys, what does that look like? Does that look like the momentum is ready to start shifting in our direction? To me, it does. If I see a nasty wick like that, I'm like, bro, we're gone. Right? So let's take a look. We need that change of direction. All right, let's back up a little bit. Did we get what we needed to see, guys? Do we have the structure that we needed to see? Yes, for sure. We have a break of structure here, BOS. Break of structure here. We have a break of structure here. Now look at, guys, notice how the market is not reversing and we don't change direction till right here. Nice change of direction. That's a strong move up. And again, we were looking for bullish activity. So that's good. So what do you mean exactly? Anthony, if you can unmute, bro.
I'm at the gym right now. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
No, you're good.
All right, so pretty much because I seen when it happens when it changes direction, and then it goes the other way. Like it's supposed to go up, but then eventually it goes back down. So I seen that before. I just want to know what you would do in that situation.
So yeah, in those situations, you kind of just have to refresh, bro. Honestly, like it does. I mean, they happen a lot more on lower time frames. So like if you're on, the 1 minute or 5 minute, like they're gonna happen a lot more because the market's trying to fake you out. But you just have to stay fresh and just adapt when the market conditions change, right? So let's just say in this example, we were looking for buys here, right? Looking for buys here. Now again, if we were looking for buys here and the market just tanks and closes below, we have to refresh, right? So I would delete this and I would delete this. And now because I know the market wants to go lower, I need to change my bias from inverted to regular, right? So where's my regular head and shoulder? I have a break of structure to the upside and I have my change of direction right here. So if the market was going to continue down, well, I already have my setup. Let's just go ahead and we'll stay fresh. So when the market does want to come back, I already know exactly where it wants to come back to, and we'll continue down. Does that make sense? Whether it's a starting point or a right shoulder or left shoulder, we can use it.
Yeah, bro, you just gave me a clicking moment right now. Thank you.
So you just have to stay fresh. Like you have to understand, like, you know what? They faked me out, and that's okay. Like if you saw the same buy structure, millions of people got faked out, not just you. But now you just have to know how to adapt when market conditions change. And this is it right here. You just have to stay fresh. And that helps a lot, bro. Trust me.
For sure, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now we got bullishness, right, guys? So technically on the 15-minute time frame, this would be my starting point, and this would be my left shoulder with my stop loss at this low. So, you know, if you were looking to take the starting point opportunity, I would not mind. I mean, you could put your stop loss below here, but with it being the same setup, you can enter a bit more. And again, guys, it's all about leverage. Just because you see 195 pips, like, bro, trade the mini. Trade the mini. You don't need to risk 195 pips. You could easily make it $50, a $50 risk. You can easily make it a $25 risk. You know, just because it said 195, I know, like, trust me. If you want a tighter stop loss, you can put it right here. You know, you're still risking $100, but on the mini, you could still, this can be a $25 risk. This can be a $15 risk. You know, this can be a $30 risk. It doesn't have to be $100. But let's just take a look. Where's my liquidity? So this is the high of my liquidity. I would like to see if we can at least take that, right? Now, if the market goes lower, that would be great. Let's see if the market comes back to this left shoulder. We'll attack the same high. Let's take a look. Come pick me up. Oh man. Let's see to take the high. Nope, almost. Let's see though. But look, guys, at this point though, right? Whoever was trading off of the starting point, you know, that was your trade. But now look, let's take a look. This is around a 1-to-1. You should already be at break even. This is around a 1-to-2. You should have already partialed out. So as soon as you hit a partial out, guys, like, you're already in a winning trade. You should be at break even, right? You should not lose any money, right, at this point. So let's go ahead and see what the market does. Boom, hits your take profit. Whoever, I mean, honestly, this drop right here would have for sure scared somebody. But when I'm looking at this, when you zoom out, if you're just focused like this and you see a massive drop, you're thinking, oh man, it's going to reverse. It's going to reverse. Especially when you're looking at this, right? I can totally see somebody doing that because that's exactly what I used to look like. Right? Oh yeah, for sure. I used to be clinching it all the time when I used to see that. But and then at the same time, when I understood directional bias, right? The market is bullish. Now, let's go back up to the 1 hour and let's play this back a little bit. As the market pulls back, the market bounces off of this resistance line. So now that we have equal highs, what is equal highs, guys? There's already a hint on my chart. Anybody know? What is equal highs? Liquidity, right? So there's liquidity resting at the top of right here. So not only is the market bullish, we got our buy opportunity. There's equal highs left in our direction. I would have liked to continue holding this trade. So once you see the market like drop, guys, you guys don't get me wrong. You guys should always protect capital first and foremost. If you choose to exit the trade and profit, you're winning. You're up. Congrats to you. But if you also want to learn how to stomach and hold for potential swings, you have to understand directional bias, liquidity bias, and have some faith in your setups. You know, have some faith in your setups. But trust me, like it's all baby steps, guys. Because I remember when I used to see this drop, I'm out. Give me my money. I'm gone. But now when I see that, I'm looking for re-entries. I want to see if we can go ahead and look for some possible buy opportunities. So yeah, guys, keep that in mind. Let's take a look. I know, Etney, I don't think I saw your link to your chart. If you can send that, that would be great.
It's old. I don't know if I'm still
Oh,
able
it's
to.
okay. I'll pull it up right now. All right,
Okay.
let's see what we can do here. Oh, are you showing off right now? This is you like showing me something you caught. Love that. Love that. All right, you guys can see this setup. You guys can see this, and can you see this?
Yeah, I see it. And
Okay.
it's my first like actual like trade that I caught too, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Is there anything specific? Like I mean, I'm just asking a question, but what are you boxing up right here exactly?
I was trying to find the mitigation, so I had a question if it was there or was it right here where the institutional candle is?
So the thing is I don't know a whole lot about mitigation because I don't trade smart money. But I do like this structure nonetheless. And let me tell you why. What time frame is this, by the way? This is the 1 hour. Okay. We can dive a bit deeper on lower time frames or on the higher time frame on my chart. But notice how we have a breakage structure right here. We have one here. We have one here. My change of character happens with this rally. Right now, technically my starting point to this breakage structure or this change of character would be right here, which I think we barely missed that. Right. But I do see some imbalances here for smart money. So I'm pretty sure they came to pick that up. But this looks good nonetheless. Like I really do like that structure, whether you were trading it with smart money or not. But the same rules apply right here. Same rules apply. Notice how we have breakage structure to the downside. We have change of direction to the upside. We have breakage structure to the downside. We have change of direction to the upside. So it's the same structure. So if we can actually see this, even though you're looking to get in right here, you are right. Like the market's going your way. If you were trying to get in right here and you're able to see this structure happening in front of your eyes, you're right. So whether you can get in on a other opportunity or not, like you're good. Like I hope you got in and you're holding because that thing smacked. Now let's go to gold. Let's go to gold. Take a look at where that was because I think that looks very familiar. Was that like how far back was that exactly? Was that
I think it was Wednesday, Tuesday.
this Wednesday?
Yeah, it was this week for sure.
Ain't no way. Let me look. I gotta look at that again real quick. Hold on. Give me a second. 1 hour Owanda. Why does this not look like anything on my chart right now? Let me see. Oh, this is silver. I'm like, why does this not look like anything? All right, yeah, there we go. Now I see it. Now I see it. Now I see it. All right. So let's take a look here. Why did gold make its run and then just tank just to continue going higher? Well, look at the structure here. Let's go to the daily time frame. Oops. All right, there's a break of structure here. So that last selling candle is also a starting point, right? I have a BOS here. So let's go ahead. We'll dive deep. So we can already see that market was respecting that area, right? If we want to go ahead and shrink it, we can, but I think it ends up like disrespecting it a little bit, right? That's why I mainly like to put my stop losses at lows if I could, right? I know people like tight stop losses and they'll put it like this, which is okay. You just have to know how to get back in, right? Some people will have tight stop loss like that. I don't mind a wider stop loss. Personally, I like to give my trades room to breathe, right? But if you are somebody who likes a tighter stop loss, that is fine. But if you get your stop loss hit, you just have to know how to get back in if that is the case, right? So let's drop down to the 1 hour time frame. Actually, let's go back up to the 4 hour real quick. 2 hour. So on the 2 hour time frame, we actually get that right shoulder structure that we're looking at. On the 1 hour time frame, it gets a bit more cluttered, but this is my break of structure here to the downside, and then my change of character would be right here. Notice how this is my right shoulder, guys, or my left shoulder on this time frame. That's literally a smack. That's nice. That's good structure to risk on. Let's drop down to the let's see. And Levels is calling that zone specifically my left shoulder, which is lit. So that was a nice move for sure. I do like that. Let's see. Does it get the starting point though? Does not. Definitely misses that. Definitely misses that. But that was a good opportunity. Etsy, what did it say? Etsy, bro? Etney. I'm sorry, Etney. I don't know why Etsy just came to my mind real quick. I'm about to order something off Etsy. But that was a good opportunity because obviously, like, gold is still bullish right now. Now, look at the structure. I'm sorry, I apologize. But look at the structure that the market gave us, guys. Right? Again, we always have to think bullishness because the market is freaking bullish on gold. Right now, check me out. Guys, we even talked about this last week, bro. We talked about this last week. Literally. Do you guys remember when I was like, look, this is the structure on the daily time frame? When I even broke it down like this, I was like, look, if you guys can see it on the daily time frame, do you really have to drop down in order to find more opportunities or whatever the case may be? We don't, guys. If this is what we can see on the daily time frame, this is the setup. Where is my starting point? My starting point on the daily time frame is this big ass candle right here. Right? My left shoulder is right here. Boom. The market is up right now. The market is up right now off of that zone. Now let's take a look. The market literally came into that and it is up right now. Let's see, did it smack this starting point? Oh, barely missed it. Barely missed it. But this is the thing, guys, right? The market's on its way. All right, let's just take a look at this. The market came to my buy zone. Where is my confirmation play? Draw on my chart. Anybody that can see it, draw my chart. Where is my confirmation play? What am I waiting for in order to look for more buy opportunities? Oh man, none of y'all know? What are you waiting for exactly, Dede? What are you waiting for exactly? Change of direction. If you can delete this, that would be great. Yeah, I'm waiting for a change of direction, guys. So if I can, thank you. So if I'm waiting right here for buys, I need to be marking up my break of structures and change of character. Let it play. We have a break of structure. My change of character line is right here. We have a break of structure. My change of character line is right here. Market's in my zone. Maybe I bought, maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm waiting for change of character. But either way, the market's in my zone already. So let's take a look. So now that I know, right? Now I know I should already been in buys here. But all I have to do is wait for the market to break and close above. Look at guys, notice how we have one gray down candle here. One. What if next week the market looks like this? I guess I could make it blue. What if next week the market looks like this and we get that change of direction we're looking for? Would this gray candle be my starting point? Yes. If the market continues up higher, right, by next week, and it just plays out exactly how we're talking about it, yes, this would be my starting point alongside of a head and shoulder. Left shoulder, neckline, head, change of direction, right shoulder, continue higher. Does that make sense? Give me a 5 if that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions about that? Any questions at all about that?
Hey, Vinny. So I kind of have a question about liquidity.
Okay.
All right. So, can I draw?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, okay. So this is liquidity, right?
Yeah.
So for a liquidity sweep, would it be this or would it have to be this one where it crosses below that? Would this be considered a liquidity sweep since it sweep this?
Correct. Yeah. That would also be a liquidity sweep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're able to identify, that's the thing, right? Where's my thing? If you're able to identify, let's just say we have trend line trading here, trend line trading going on. And then we see that the market just moves sideways. Now that we know we have trend line here, this is liquidity. And we have, oops. And we have liquidity here. Now, this is the thing, right? Is the market going to sweep the first set of liquidity and then continue higher? Because if that's the case, we can start looking for more buys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now, if the market wants to go lower, sometimes that happens. Sometimes this market just drops and it tanks. Now, when that happens, I wanted to see it sweep this, but I also want to see the structure. So let's just say, boom, sweeps us liquidity. Now, as soon as we change direction right here, now I could participate in this area. It's in the market higher. Does that make sense? Literally, just like we explained on NAS. As soon as it, swept liquidity, let's go to NAS real quick. As soon as it swept liquidity, we were able to participate on that 5 or 15-minute setup right here. Can you delete the drawing real quick? Appreciate it. Yeah, so notice how the liquidity on this is just really, really big. But as soon as we sweep it, we have to focus on the structure on the way to my sweep. So as soon as it sweeps it, we change direction here. We could participate right here. Boom. Take that market up higher. And that's exactly what it did on the 15-minute. Came right back into my starting point, and that was it, and just continued higher.
Okay, got it. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go to Austin's real quick. Oh, did you take this? Did you take this sell on silver? Or are you waiting for another one?
I wanted to see it come and fill that wick because silver, like what I've been noticing is I've been back testing silver and it's starting to come fill a lot of wicks.
Okay. Yeah, you ain't wrong on that. Let's see where we at. You're on the 4-hour time frame on silver.
Yes, sir.
Let's see where we at. Okay, you're scrunched up a little bit. I went too big. Okay, gotcha. We're here now. We're here now. I'm still waiting for it to come in a bit higher. My zone was never really touched. Oops. Was never really touched. So if this does get violated, your wick here, then I would still be looking to see if we can come a bit higher, take liquidity first, and then round off. But let's drop down to that lower time frame real quick. I do see a setup already on that lower time frame. On the 15-minute, there's a head and shoulder that needs a shoulder. So that's not a bad idea. Left shoulder, right? Left shoulder, neckline, head, change of direction. We were short of that right shoulder. But what does the market come into? The market actually tapped into my starting point. So that's why it was just shy. But, you know, that doesn't look bad for your area that you're looking at because that would definitely be inside of the wick or just below it. Let's drop down. Is there something on the 5-minute? Let's see. Nothing that I see specifically. Unless you're targeting this as a head and shoulder, but that's kind of funky in my opinion. Let's see. I'm actually favoring some buys. Just because it's obviously going bullish with silver. But I will be honest, I'm not liking this liquidity here. So I don't mind the market selling off because again, I want to see an inverted head and shoulder, right? So if this can be my liquidity and the market can sell off, give me a nice entry and then continue higher, that would be a lot cleaner in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So would not mind you taking some sells just to give me a good buy. You know, to be real. But now let's drop down. And this liquidity is just insane. It's just, I mean, the starting point does hold and it does its job, but I mean, there's just a lot of liquidity right here in this area. So yeah, I would not be surprised if the market does respect this area, you know, to be real. But if you want more confirmation, definitely wait for this change of character to happen so you can take an opportunity and shift that market down. But yeah, I already had the same area that you had marked up. Mine was just a bit lower. And I didn't really like the way this looked too. So I was really thinking the market can go a bit higher. So this is actually a pretty good entry. And the risk to award is pretty good. So yeah, would not mind it. But the thing is, this would be counter trend, right? So I would personally either test trade or wait for the confirmation. But again, this isn't my dominant pair. So if you trade this, like like you say you do, and you backtest it like you say you do, stay confident in the thing that you're seeing. Because from my perspective, when you're backtesting a pair that you guys really like, and you guys go back, a couple years, and then you guys backtest from a couple years back all the way to present day, you've already gone through all of the zones the market can already offer. So now you're pretty much you have a very good strong idea where the market is headed. So I do like that part about backtesting. So I'm not sure if you felt that yet, Austin, but man, it's a great feeling. So make sure you keep that up, bro. Keep backtesting. Because you guys are gonna find pairs you guys really like. And you guys should backtest them. Go back and backtest them on the 4-hour, go on the daily, and just go back. Go back and backtest them. And it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna start backtesting right here. And you're gonna backtest it and understand like you've already gone through all of these zones Like I already know where the market is headed. Like I already know because there is no fresher zones. It's either gonna respect my zones or we're falling off the face of the earth. But yeah, I do like your area. Just be careful with it because it's counter trend. But let's see. I think I saw Nova say something about GBPUSD. So I still don't like the consolidation that's been happening here. And is this equal highs or do we sweep liquidity? We swept, slight sweep. But we also have, you know, a daily or a weekly starting point here. But in my opinion, this does look like it is fairly bullish, right? We do have liquidity sitting, and we did just sweep this, and we are headed up. So if we go to the monthly time frame, I think that's the lowest section on this chart, at least. I'm not sure if it looks like this on any other chart, but if this can happen, right? Let's just delete this for the visual. If this can happen, this would be a pretty nasty inverted head and shoulder. We have consolidation, phase one, phase two, which is the breakout or liquidity sweep. Now the market's on its way and we're still waiting for it. But if we can get this change of direction, that would be pretty sick. That way, when the market does come back down here, I'm not sure when that'll be because look at we're already from the start of this consolidation to now. This started in 2016. So we're a couple months shy of a whole 10 years of developing the structure. So I don't know how long, it'll take for us to actually get out of here and then come back and, to this right shoulder. But when it does, be prepared for the swing of your life, right? But because we're still downtrending technically on the higher time frame, we haven't really got our bullish confirmation yet, which would be this change of direction. Let's go ahead and drop down to the lower time frame real quick. I'm still favoriting buys though. Like with this is a sell zone, but if I'm only gonna sell if the market gives me something super clean like this, and then I take the opportunity, because I mean the dollar still bearish. Like it is pulling back a little bit, but the dollar is still bearish, which means GBPUSD is still bullish. So until the market, the US dollar actually starts pumping to the upside, then that's when I'll start, looking for heavy sells with GBPUSD. But till then, I'm still rocking buys. And I mean, I'm still waiting for buys down here on the daily time frame. This is my starting point right here. But on the 4-hour time frame, I believe my starting point is down here. So we're waiting still, right? Consolidation build up, sweep of liquidity, continue higher. When you see that, guys, mark that up. Mark up your starting point, mark up your left shoulder. Now, as we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, I mean, I just don't really see anything like super clean, at least on the 4-hour, right? Not on the 4-hour time frame. And I'm looking at this just like liquidity, right? Support, so there's support all throughout here. Support, right? So there's a lot of liquidity being built up right now. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame. I mean, on the 1-hour time frame, I don't see anything that's like really clear, in my opinion. I see liquidity sweep, and I'm waiting for this change of direction, which didn't happen till right here. Right? So the only thing that I see that's actually clear, in my opinion, is this right here. That's the starting point that gave us this change of direction to the downside. So that, but now that we got this change of direction, we also have a left shoulder here. But it just doesn't look super clean. And we have liquidity. We have a lot of liquidity to the downside right here. A lot. So I really just want to wait for something clean, guys. In my opinion, it just looks very choppy. And if you do choose to participate, you are participating inside of consolidation. You know, it just looks very, very big. So you think it's not consolidation, but it is, right? So make sure you guys are careful with that. Now we did sweep liquidity here. I did add some because it did leave some, but we did sweep liquidity here, right? Now look at, as soon as we swept liquidity, what happened? We had a break of structure to the downside and a change of direction. Market gave us a left shoulder and a starting point. Market hasn't came back yet. But now if the market wants to go ahead and continue going higher, this confirms my idea. Now we just have to wait. Maybe this sell-off does happen, but if that happens, that's okay. I'm still waiting for this play to happen. Because look, let's delete some things. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's look at the structure. This is my break of structure to the downside. This is my change of direction, right? So I really need the market to actually continue up higher to give me more confirmation the market wants to go higher. Now, once we get this, then I can actually participate with my left shoulder here as well. So when we drop down to the 1-hour time frame, everything kind of falls into place. You know, the 1-hour left shoulder is right here. That 1-hour starting point in this area is down here. My 4-hour shoulder is right here. So if we can actually continue up above, right? If the market can make its way up, that would be cool. That way, when the market does make its way back down, we already have a really good buying opportunity so we can swing that up. Because again, the US dollar is bearish. Don't let it fool you just because it's going up a bit higher. It's a pullback. It's a pullback. Let's go to the daily. We were already talking about the market pulling back a little bit, right? It needs to. Markets just don't always go straight down, right? Drop, pullback. Drop, pullback. Now, look at the structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high. If the market changes direction, we're going lower, right? We're going lower. Now, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. 1 hour. I'm not really liking this structure here. I think we could poke a bit higher, to be honest. I think that the market can definitely make its way a bit higher. This would be my head, and then we would need to change character here, right? So this would be my BOS, and then this would be my change of character. So then we have a massive, massive left shoulder, head, change of direction, right shoulder, continue selling down. I just don't like this structure. It doesn't look like it is going to hold from my experience trading or back testing with the US dollar. It looks lightweight. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the market on the dollar is still bearish. So if we go to GBPUSD, I'm still looking to continue buys. I'm either waiting down here for buys or I'm waiting for the market to give me more confirmation for buys right here. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense. Now, again, the market can definitely hold this zone. Let me know if that doesn't make sense. The market can definitely hold this zone for sales. That is a starting point for sure. Right? The market can definitely hold for sure right here. So keep in mind, guys, just keep that in mind. When you back test, how many days back do you recommend going, or is it just the previous day? I'll be honest, when you're just beginning, going back super far can be kind of nerve-wracking. It can be like oh shit, I've never been back here before, you know, like what do I look for? Guys, you look for the same thing, right? If you want, just go to the previous day. Start off, this is disgusting structure. What am I looking at right now? My gosh. GBPCAD. Just go to the previous day or the previous week, right? So this is Friday. This is Friday, right? So how can I have gotten into the markets, right? let's go ahead and how can I have gone to the markets? I see a break of structure to the downside, and I'm waiting for a change of character to happen. Right? So let's go ahead. Okay, does that give us a change of character, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have a buy opportunity right here with my starting point, right? And I also have a buy opportunity down here with my right shoulder. So let's take a look. I got 2 buy opportunities right now. And this is the thing. I'm gonna show you guys what I like to do. A lot of people are gonna put their stop loss underneath the starting point, right? But I'm looking at this as a possible stop loss. I'm not a very big fan of tight stop losses, to be honest. I don't want to be knocked out for any reason. Like I want to give my trade room to breathe. So let's take a look. This is my setup, my first setup. Let's take a look and see what happens. We're in profit. Market's back in my zone. Back in my zone, back in my zone, back in my zone. But by this time, guys, I ain't gonna lie. I should have already been out the trade. Why? Anybody know why I should have been out the trade already?
No.
Because if you're following risk management, it already hits your 1-to-1. I mean, you can try to look for re-entries, don't get me wrong. And if you're the type of trader, and it all talks about like, it's all about what type of trader you are. Like, are you only taking trades and like you're as soon as the market goes break even, like that's all you're doing? Are you not taking partials? Yada yada yada. Because I do know traders and I do know some educators that they're not moving their stop loss to break even and they're not taking partials. They know what they're risking. They're letting the trade either win or lose. But I personally don't recommend that, especially for a beginner, to be honest. So following money management, is something that we can all do. So does the market hit my 1-to-1? Yeah, the market comes back, comes into my zone, hits 1-to-1. And then my 1-to-2 is right here, market actually hits me right here. 1-to-1, market comes back, hits me break even. Right? So depending on how you look at it and how you trade, you most likely this was either a break even trade or a partial. Then the market went your way. So but the market went in our direction and the zone held up. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for sure. Now let's see if we can continue to make some plays. We have a break of structure. My next starting point would be right here. Let's see if we can make some plays happen. Kind of a big entry. I put my entry there. 1-to-3. Let's see. Where are we at? That's already Thursday this week. I'm in there. We're in profit, baby. You know what I'm saying, guys? So sometimes like you just have to have good money management. And if this doesn't hold because you are having good money management, like you can't be mad at yourself. Like sometimes you're going to miss opportunities because of things like that. Like you can't be frustrated. Like stop getting in your head that you're going to catch a trade every day. Like the markets are just going to give you a beautiful opportunity every day because you've been studying, because you've been putting in the work, because that's what Powerhouse does. That's what we expect. Like, no, sometimes it's going to give us trouble. It's going to hit your break even. It's going to hit your stop loss, then go your way. It's not always going to be, pretty. So even if we had a break even here and the market went our way, okay, cool. That's fine. Stay confident. You didn't lose money. Maybe you even took some money out, then hit break even, right? You didn't lose money. Stay confident. What's the next setup? We found the next setup. We either wait for the opportunity right here, we wait for the opportunity right here, or we wait for the opportunity to show itself again. And then we continue to look for more opportunities. So this was a good trade. In my opinion, this was lit, right? So if you're having trouble, just like, because sometimes just going back like this, guys, it could be like kind of nerve-wracking because you're like, well, now I really don't know where I am. Okay, cool. Start right here. Start in your first month, start in your first week, 2 weeks, and then stretch it to 4 weeks, and then stretch it to 2 months, and then stretch it to, work yourself back. And then as soon as you feel yourself confident, this is what I like to do. I like to go to the daily time frame. And I like to make things a little bit smaller. And I like to just one slide over right here. That's what I like to do. And we'll just keep it like that. At this area, I mean, the market ain't doing nothing really. Market's kind of moving sideways. But what happened right here? Change of direction. I have a left shoulder. I have a stop loss. I can be looking for some sell opportunities. Let's take a look. Building liquidity. Building liquidity. Let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Market hit my zone. I'm in profit right now as we speak. We have a break of structure to the upside and the change of character. I'm already in my test trade because I test trade everything, right? I'm not looking for more sells until I actually break and close below, and then we continue. So let's take a look. That definitely gave you a 1-to-1 minimum break even. That's already a 1-to-1. So if you lost on that one, it is what it is. You have to have good money management. And that's the thing, guys. Like, you're gonna see opportunities, but you can't just like back test and be nonchalant. Like, take this shit serious. It happens. Now let's just take a look. Okay, that was nasty, right? It did what it did. Now find out what it touched. What did it go up to? Exit out or zoom out and take a look. Sometimes it doesn't really give you anything super, super clear, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, I do see something. Notice how we have a left shoulder and we don't get our change of character till right here. Wow. We don't get our change of character till right here. And we also have a starting point right in this area. The highest wick in that area is actually right here. So let's delete this. Boom. Okay, cool. So now that I know why the market went there, I understand now. So let's take a look. This is my break of structure. Now, if we're looking for reversals, this is my change of direction. Liquidity. BOS, change of direction. Let's see if we can get something. I don't even know. I don't even trade GBPCAD. I've never traded in my life. Let's see if it drops. Let's see if it drops, though. Let's see if it drops, though. If it doesn't, I'm like, oh, this call is kind of whack. But if it does, that's crazy. I mean, we should already be at 1-to-1 right now. That's insane, right? I'm telling you guys, don't be intimidated by this stuff. This is what we do. My stop loss at this high, minimum 1 to 3 just to award. 1 to 2.5 is already right there. 1 to 3. And if we're swinging this, I would love to hold it down here. 1 to 4. But let's take a look. I don't even know what's going to happen, guys. I promise you, I don't even know. That was most likely a break even because it definitely gives me a 1-to-1. All right, it's taking slow. Come on, my boy. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, big dog? Come on. That's why I don't trade GBPCAD, fellas. You're just gonna be stuck. Clear liquidity in this area for sure. Now the market's starting to move a lot cleaner. Look at this is the thing too, guys. Right? You guys start to identify things. Notice how I'm gonna delete this stuff. Notice how all of this structure, and I ain't gonna lie to you, looks like shit. Everything inside of here does not look good. It just looks like liquidity. That's my opinion, right? I don't see anything in here that's telling me confirmation sells. But as soon as market actually sweeps liquidity, and we could just end it with this because I know now it's getting really advanced and people are getting tired. I know it's late, right? We swept liquidity. Now look at how the structure becomes a lot more clear. Break a structure, change of direction, everything becomes clear in this structure. Notice how we have starting point, which was a snipe, and then market just follows suits. Now market structure just becomes a whole lot clearer. I wouldn't like if the market doesn't tank with this, I'd be shocked because the market just cleans itself up. Ugly structure, very, very clean structure. So let's just take a look at this. We'll give it a couple seconds, then we'll go ahead and end the call. Clapped, my boy. Oh, and then drops and goes my way. You see what I mean, guys? It happens, bro. It happens. Oh, wait, hold on. Is that why? Give me a second. Did it touch my left shoulder, bro? Bro, I can't make this shit up, bro. I can't make this shit up. Notice my starting point that was taken here, guys. My starting point was taken. But my left shoulder was not. So anytime a left shoulder isn't touched or a right shoulder isn't touched, I'm still looking for that to be touched. Market comes right in there, boom, and drops. So, and again, this is a good example of risk to reward, right? Let's just say we won this trade. We're up 3%, right? We're up 3% because we took this trade. Cool. Now let's say we took sells here. We just lost one. So now we're up 2%. Let's just say we took this trade and we hit TP3. Let's just say we won. Now we're up 5%. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? When you focus on few pairs and you take these ideas, bro, it's okay. Sometimes you're going to lose one. Sometimes you're going to smack one. Guys, risk to reward is king. And you're not going to start to understand how important money management is and how important risk to reward is until you guys actually start back testing. Back test, guys. Use it. You can see how much you win or lose off of this. Don't get me wrong. When you guys start, it'll be discouraging because you're just going to see the account go backwards. You're like, ah, shit. But when you guys start using it and you guys start smacking, right? Let's just say I'm going to enter late, but it's okay. I'm going to sell the market. My stop loss up here, TP. And I don't even know if the market comes back down here. 40. Let's see. I'm trying to get in here technically, but it is what it is. We'll just put my take profit right there. Now let's take a look. We'll see the account grow. We'll see the account grow. We'll see it in red. We'll see it grow. We'll see it grow. We'll see it grow. Put my stop loss and profit. Guys, use this. I'm telling you guys, get your reps in. Get your reps in. Market's going lower. I'm going to move my stop loss a bit deeper. I'm up now. Boom. I'm up now. I'm up now. Have good money management, guys. Have good money management. I know, this was a smaller call, and the call just got smaller as the night went on, but everybody who stayed on here got value, guys. And that's what you guys are chasing. You guys are chasing the value. You guys are chasing the right things. Like, how do I maneuver inside of the markets? And as long as you guys stay plugged in and stay consistent, guys, you're going to see results. Hit me up, guys. I'm here to help you. If you guys did one-on-ones, you guys need, you guys need a group session, hit me up. I'm here to help. Send me charts to give feedback on, guys. I'm always here to help you guys. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope I gave you guys some value on this call. I'm trying to switch it up a bit more, guys. So if you guys want to go ahead and drop ideas in the levels chat or in the powerhouse chat of what you guys would want to see next or what you guys need help on next, let me know, because for me personally, I'm getting over the Monday basics and Friday backtesting. That's just me, in my opinion, because I'm always trying to do something new to help you guys. I want to stay fresh. I want your mind to stay fresh and want you to keep having clicking moments. But if this is helping you guys progress, then I'm all for it. But if you guys want help in something else or in different aspects, whatever the case, let it be known in the chat. Tag me, that way I can go ahead and develop something that way you can go ahead and lock in. But you guys have a great weekend. Take the weekend to backtest. Get better, guys. And I will see you guys on Monday. Peace out, guys.